Your focus. I am constantly protecting my focus. I don't take phone calls randomly, not even from my sweet husband, and some people think this is extra or rude, but I really do this out of love for people because I'm able to stay focused on what I'm supposed to be doing at that moment. When I'm with the person that called, I am also not looking at my phone and I am not working. I answer text messages in blocks of time. Very few things are actually urgent. And when it comes to working on my vision and working on my craft, I think of myself as a surgeon. What brain surgeon do you know that is over here stopping what they are doing to answer the phone or scroll social media? In today's overly distracted world, your focus will become your competitive advantage. Your focus will reveal your obsession. I truly believe the saying that what you focus on grows. So instead of focusing on nonsense or negativity, I would rather focus on my craft. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Dela, and that is a quote from my book. I think a myth that a lot of us believe is that the world is so saturated. It's too late for me to do what I'm called to do. It's too late for me to start this thing and do this idea. So let's just say that myth was true, right? One of the things that I feel like will give you the competitive advantage is your focus. And it's so funny because when I wrote this book, right, Live with Vision, I thought it was humbling. Actually, it wasn't funny, it was humbling. I thought the number one thing that people would text me about would be like, oh, Dela, can you teach me how to live with vision? Or how do I, figure out or craft my vision? Or what is God calling me to do? No, the number one text, y'all, the number one DM that I got was, girl, how did you have time to write a book when you have, all these kids or you are doing all these things, especially if they really know me personally and everything that I have going on in my life? That was the number one question I got. So after I got it more than once, I was like, okay, there's something here that needs to be taught. And I'll tell you how I had time to write a book. It was my focus. And I did not realize that focus is, like vision, another superpower. And so I am going to break down focus today. And I have my whiteboard here. My prayer is that you're not too distracted by my kitchen. It's not clean because I'm focused on this video. And I don't know if y'all will be able to see my markers. I'm using my little girl's markers. So we just gonna hope everything works out. But there are 6 different types of focuses. I am going to literally write them down, break them down for you, and we're just gonna talk about it. And I really want you to chew on this, y'all, because in today's distracted age, I really feel like focus is something that's dying. And we're not trying to build our focus, right? We're trying to feed into it. Like shorts, I love shorts. Y'all know I have a few shorts and stuff, or TikTok and all the things. But instead of challenging our students to master the craft of focus, we are literally like changing everything to fit the fact that people have short attention spans. So I'm gonna tell you now, this video is not gonna be short, but I really feel like it is going to be a good teaching, something you can put in your back pocket that will allow you to just have this competitive advantage over people and over yourself, really, because we really are in competition with ourselves. We are our biggest competition. If you can master this, I feel like a lot of things that you are praying for God to release in your life can be released, okay? So let's start with focus number 1. All right, I zoomed in a little bit. Hopefully you aren't all in the back of my head. Focus number 1 is what? Focus. All right, so in every season of your life, you need to know what are the main focuses in your life at that time. So when I was writing this book, one of the top focuses in my life was writing the book. So every quarter, every year, every decade, shoot, every month, you need to ask yourself, what is the main focus right now? Because me knowing I want to write this book, I don't want to be one of those people writing a book for 15 years, right? I want to actually get this book out and I want to make it do what it do, right? So what focus? The book was one of my top what focus. And then if you have a family, that's always going to be on the top. But even that might shift because when your kids get older, like for me, a lot of my kids are going to be going into the school age. There's going to be a shift, right, in this next season of my life. So what focus? The only way you know what focus is if you know the bigger what, right? Back to that vision piece. Buy the books, shameless plug. The what focus. You got to know, where am I headed? What is it that I am going to be focused on? Number 2, this is a big one. I'm going to go ahead and erase this because this is a whole teaching on its own. Number 2 is the who focus. Who focused, okay? I think another hard thing about our generation right now is that we expect ourselves to be all things to all people. That's literally impossible. And when you expect yourself to be all things to all people and you're trying to act like you can be all things to all people, you end up being nothing to all people. Okay? And that sucks for the people, the main people in your life, like your family, people that you know that God is calling you to pour into in this season. Okay? So let me break this down. I think the best way to teach this section is going to be in circles. Let's say you have your core group, your tier 1, right? This is your core group. This is going to be your address family. So we say, like, we like to say, oh, you know, whatever, 7270, that's where we used to live, 7270. That means the people that live with under my roof, the nuclear family, those people closest to you. That's like your tier 1, right? And then you have your second tier, and that's like extended family, maybe, if they're not toxic, best friends, things like that. That's your second tier. And I'll tell you, this is important because I'm going to tell you how to divvy out your focus based on the tier that the person falls in, right? And then you have your next tier. And this is also a very important tier. In this tier, we would have our church family. We have our church family for us. That might be somebody different for you. This might be maybe your small group, like at church, or for us, my husband and I, we lead the young adults ministry at our church. This would be like our leadership team. So anybody that you're mentoring closely or discipling. And again, this looks different in your life, but maybe if, I don't know, I'm trying to think in a corporate sense, maybe it's the person that's right underneath you that you spend a lot of time with at work, that you want to see do amazing things, whatever. That's your tier 3. And then you have tier 4. I'm running out of circle space. Number 4. And these are people that from your past that you want to honor. Not people that are dead, but like, you know, you have different seasons. We had a housewarming party, and what I loved about this housewarming party is I had people from different seasons of my life who were so, like, maybe they were a tier 2 person or a tier 3 person in that season that I worked with because I would spend a lot of time with them or I loved them so much. They are now in your tier 4. So people from past seasons, important people from past seasons. And then our final tier, these are like high school friends, Facebook friends. Y'all know how it is, okay? Facebook friends, associates, those type of people, right? Now, let me tell you why this is so important. Because when you're protecting your focus, you don't have all this random time to be just doing all the things when you're focused on something and trying to get it done, right? So the way I look at it, and I hope this is not sound, whatever, we're done apologizing. This is what I do, okay? You want to know what I do? This is what I do. So my tier 1, that's my core group. The people in this house, they get the biggest bucket of my focus. Now, I have very young kids, and so just by default, that takes up a lot of my focus and my space. So these other tiers in this season, they don't really get that much focus, right? The next tier is maybe extended family, depending on your relationship with your extended family and if they're not toxic, because that will decide real quick what tier somebody falls in for me. And then best friends and things like that. The reason why these are important, because take birthday parties. I have 4 kids. If I'm not careful, I will be at a birthday party every Saturday and every Sunday, every weekend, right? And so when it comes to birthday parties, my rule is you need to be in tier 2 if it's a busy season. If it's not a busy, so take football season. My husband's a football coach. If it is not a busy season and we're outside of football season, I might extend birthday parties to tier 3, right? This next tier right here. And that includes our church family, small group, people I'm mentoring and things like that. But for the most part, tier 2 is where the birthday parties fall. And that goes for my kids too. If they bring home a birthday party invitation and that friend, I have not heard that friend's name, because my kids talk to me, and so they'll say, oh, I love Sally, or you know, I don't know, why do we use Sally and Rebecca? You know, whatever. I love them so much, and they talk about them, and then their birthday comes up, then we will prioritize that birthday party. Or if they're a more quiet kid, you know, I'll just say, hey, we haven't done anything, and I'll just use it. I'll count it as a tier 1 because it's an opportunity to take one of my kids just with me and spend that one-on-one time with them to the birthday party. Baby showers is another example. Because we're really involved in our church, if we're not careful, we will also be at a baby shower every single weekend. Not that I work that much on weekends, but my weekends have to be used to restore our family and to get my energy back up for the week because our weeks are really busy. If somebody has a baby in tier 3 and they're in our church family, in our mentorship group, I prioritize that because generally people don't have a lot of babies. I mean, nowadays. But, you know, I'll prioritize that. However, if it is a busy season, the way I can protect my focus is, I'm sorry I'm spending so much time on this, but this is the biggest nugget. The way I can protect my focus is, if you're in tier 3, you just get a gift. If you're in tier number 4, people from the past, people that I really love and I want to still honor throughout my life, because you never know when it's going to come back around where we do have the capacity to hang out again. Then, you know, I will either just get them a gift and maybe not come because, you know, showing face is more expensive than sending a gift for me in this season of my life. And tier number 5, back to the focus piece, you know, high school friends or maybe toxic people or people that I just really don't see, you know, they're on Facebook. We feel like we owe our Facebook friends real life attention and we just don't have the capacity for that. They'll get a prayer, you know what I'm saying, and good wishes, because you will get invitations from these people, but you don't have time for that, okay? If you're going to be focused, you don't have time for that. So I hope that makes sense in the what focus. This is how I focus my energy. This is how, you know, my tier, my core group, they get most of my focus when it comes to that. All right, number 3. This is a big one. Time focused. Okay? This is a whole video on its own. And if you want me to break that down some more, I can do another video on that. But just the main nuggets for this. I rarely take phone calls unexpectedly. Like someone just like, oh, let me call Dela real quick. That doesn't really exist in my life. And not in a rude way, but like I said in the book, even when my husband calls me, I love him. But a big thing with focus, you got to identify your distractions, no matter how positive they are. My husband is a distraction to me. He was a distraction to me in college, so I would not study with him after I figured that out. And he's just a distraction in the best way. And so if he needs something from me, he knows to text me and I will get back to him, or we will gather when we gather, because I get very small blocks of time to work. That's really how all of this was birthed, is the fact that I became a stay-at-home mom with 4 kids and I still had goals I wanted to push towards. That's what all this came out of. Not because I think I'm so important and people just need to leave a message. That's not what this was birthed out of. So time focus, yeah, that's a big one. I answer, you know, most things are not emergencies. I've grown to understand that. I answer a lot of my text messages in blocks of time because, one, I'm just physically rarely by my phone. Another reason is because it's just smarter. It's a good use of my time. And really, because I care about people deeply, I want to send a real text message back. I don't want to just send a fake text message or just an empty text message. It's just something, I guess that's the old school in me. I do talk on the phone, by the way. It'll usually be when I'm driving and with my tier 2 people, I'm just like, hey, what's a good time for you to catch up? Or my tier 3 people, I'll be like, what's a good time for you? And we'll find a good time that works for both of us, maybe when I'm walking or something like that. So I'm killing 2 birds with 1 stone. And like I said in my book, it's so funny how people are offended by me saying I will not answer my phone call while my kids are screaming or while I'm working on something. But if a surgeon answered their phone in the middle of surgery, oh my gosh, that would be on the news. Y'all, this is my craft. Doing trainings like this, teaching, speaking, you know, prepping a sermon, like that is what I'm called to do. So I take it very seriously. If I'm half doing it, what is the point? What is the point? And so that's how I protect my time focus. Every day that I start my day, I started off with a list of things to do in my notes section, and I put that list together the night before so that when I get up, I already know what it is that needs to come next. Number 4 is energy focused. I used to think it was all about time focus, but energy focus is just as important. One thing my husband and I have learned, if we jam pack our weekends, which our weekends are usually already kind of jam packed, that's just part of being a ministry. And so if we jam pack our Saturdays, even though we have time for it, we may not need to do it because it's going to take us through Tuesday to recover. And so that's not a good energy management tool. My energy is not focused, right? Or even I use this focus for negativity too. If I'm focused, where your attention goes, grows, right? And so if I'm focused on my goals, if I'm focused on my family, where we're headed, what God is calling us to do, then I'm putting, gasoline on that thing, and it's doing what it needs to do. If I'm focused on negativity, if I'm in a negative environment, if I'm contributing to the negativity, then I will remove myself from that. Number 5 is feet focus, or also called task focus. And this is one of the things that I feel like most people think about when they think about focus. And that just means where I am is where I am. And that's really hard as a parent, because when I'm working, I feel like I should be with my kids and pouring more into my kids. When I'm with my kids, I really feel like I should be pushing the business forward and checking off things on my to-do list. And so where my feet are, I need to be present there. Same thing, if I'm at the gym and I see someone that I love and I miss them, that is not my time to be catching up with them. I need to complete my workout first. And then if there's time, then and after I've done what I came there to do, then I can connect with the person. Same thing, like if I go to the library or something and I'm say, hey, I'm going to go ahead and knock out some content. I'm going to go ahead and read, prepare for a sermon or something, whatever. I need to make sure that I am feet focused or task focused at that time. It's not the time for me to be scrolling Instagram. And when you're a mom, you really understand these concepts, because if I'm at the library by myself, a lot went into, or the coffee shop or whatever, into me getting that block of time to be focused. And then number 6, I feel like this is the hugest opportunity for focus. And I'm gonna write this down because it's a big one. End of the line focus. Okay, end of the line focus. This is our ability to complete a task. There's a lot of heat out there on college right now, which I feel it. Because it could be a debt trap for a lot of people who don't know what they're doing with their life and go and spend all this money. But here's my concern with us Xing out the college thing. And not only college graduates aren't the only one that have end of the line focus, but here's the thing that I remember someone saying in college, when I was in the middle of college, I was like, what's the point? They were like, you are proving that you can complete a difficult task in a timely manner. And no matter what you feel about higher education, we feel like we're not gonna force our kids into it. It has to be something that they pursue themselves. But I'm not seeing a lot of end of the line focus for my people that are preaching no college. Everybody's starting a YouTube channel. Very few people can be consistent. Everybody's writing a book. Very few people finish it. This is where I'm talking about that competitive advantage. Everybody is doing whatever, fill in the blank, but they're not completing the task. See a thing to its finish. Learn to focus long enough to finish what you said you were going to do. Building this house, we built our house with our own hands if you're new here, and that taught us that. Finish the task at hand. Stay focused enough. Put your blinders on so that you can finish the task at hand. I am doing a lot of mindset work, y'all know that, and I am learning a lot about just faith in what we speak and all of these different things, and it has been healing me and it has been challenging me. But here's what I want to say, because you can speak and you can declare things all day long. You can have faith the size of a mustard seed. You can have all these things. If you do not focus, right? Self-discipline is a godly principle. If you do not focus, it's worthless. All of that is worthless. You can say, like, I have faith that God can do. Yeah, God can do it. But can you do it? Like, can you focus enough to see it come to pass, what it is that you're praying for? And before you come at me and say, well, faith is, without works, or no, faith without works is dead. The scriptures say that. But if you say like, oh, it's by faith alone. Well, here's the deal. I believe if you have faith in something, if you have faith that God is going to do something, then you have enough faith to focus on that thing until you see what it is that God is going to do with that thing, right? If I have faith that God is going to grow my business, then I should have faith enough to focus on it for blocks of time, hours of time, and get the thing done. Guys, I just really felt like teaching this and to let me know what is an area of focus that you need to work on. Is focus something that you struggle with? Y'all talk to me in the comments. It's so helpful. If you have not got your book, shameless plug, go buy your book. I will put the link in the bottom. If this video touched you, even if you're not a reader, just buy the book, y'all. It's that simple. I love y'all, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.